RA 9165 amending RA 6425, which is in Section 1, short titled as the Comprehensive Drug Act of 2002. So this new law provides for several new salient features, among which are follows. First, it increases the range of penalties. So in the old law, there are only lesser penalties, but because of this new created law, all the less penalties increases. Second, it lowers the number of grams from 200 to 10 in order to make the offense of possession non-bailable with exception. Third, it denies the applicability of the rules on plea bargaining. So ang plea bargaining is mao ni ang pag-plead sa accused na guilty, which is ang resulta is magbayan ang iyang sentensya or charges. So katong mga na-convict under this act is dili maka-apply sa plea bargaining because it is not very suitable in these cases. Fourth, ang probation law is dili applicable sa mga convicted drug pusher or trafficker, regardless sa penalty nga na-imposed. Dili sila pwede maka-avail sa probation law. Ang probation law is katong mga convicted person na gina-serve ilahang sentence dili sa prisuhan kundi sa community. And ang penalty ani nila is not more than 6 years. So those convicted under this act is inapplicable. Fifth or ang last, ang katong mga police or any law enforcement agencies na nagplanta og ebidensya para lang makonvict ang isa ka tawo kay patawan og pinakataas nga penalties. So, under the old law, dangerous drug refer either to prohibited drug and regulated drug. So the new meaning of dangerous drug is only confirmed with the international accepted definition of dangerous drugs and wala na distinction sa duha ka categories under sa new law. To unlawful acts and penalties, Section 4, importation of dangerous drugs and or controlled precursors and essential chemicals. The penalty of life imprisonment to death and ranging from 500,000 pesos to 10 million pesos shall be imposed atong mga tao nga unless authorized by law nga magdala or mag-import diri sulod sa Pilipinas sa any dangerous drugs regardless sa kadaghanan or purity ato. So ang penalty sa imprisonment ranging from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years and a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who nag-import sa mga controlled precursors and essential chemicals. Also, patawan pod og maximum penalty under this section ang katong mga tao na naga-import sulod diri sa Pilipinas of any dangerous drug or controlled precursors and essential chemicals gamit ang ilahang diplomatic passport, diplomatic facilities, or unsa pay mga butang nga mag-involve siyang official status. Also, ang katong passport kay ma-confiscate or ma-cancel. Ang maximum penalty provided under this section shall be imposed sa mga tao na nag-organize or manage or act as a financier of any illegal activities. Section 5, Sale, Trading, Administration, Dispensation, Delivery, Distribution, and Transportation of dangerous drugs and or controlled precursors and essential chemicals. The penalty of life imprisonment to death and a fine ranging from 500,000 pesos to 10 million pesos shall be imposed sa mga tao nga unless authorized sa law nga magbaligya, makipag-trade, dispense, deliver, or mag-transport sa mga dangerous drugs including any and all species of opium poppy regardless of the quantity and purity involved. So, the penalty of imprisonment ranging from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years and a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos shall be imposed sa mga tao nga unless authorized sa law nga magbaligya, makipag-trade, dispense, or deliver or mag-transport sa mga dangerous drugs, essential chemical or mag-act as a broker in such transactions. If ang pagbaligya, pag-trade, pag-dispensation o ang pag-deliver transpires 100 meters gikan sa eskwelahan, the maximum penalty shall be imposed in every case. Section 6. Maintenance of a den, dive, or resort where any dangerous drug is used or sold in any form. The penalty of life imprisonment to death and a fine ranging from 500,000 to 10 million pesos. This is shall impose sa mga tao or any group of person nga naggamit sa den, dive, or resort nga dito nila ginabutang, dito po sila kapamaligya or ginataguan tong mga illegal na droga. Ang penalty nga imprisonment is from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years and a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos. This is shall be imposed upon sa mga tao or group of person nga nag-maintain sa den, dive, or resort where any controlled precautions and essential chemicals is used or sold in any form. So, the maximum penalty provided for under this section shall impose sa mga taong nga gipagamit ang mga minor sa illegal drugs nga allowed nga gamiton dito ang lugar nga ilahang pamuyan. Also, if ang rason sa kamatayon sa nagamit kayang droga, ang mahimong penalty ni ani is death and a fine ranging from 1 million to 15 million pesos. Ma-impose at tong mga maintainer, owner, and operator. If such den, dive, or resort is owned by a third person, the same shall be confiscated or mapadulong ang den, dive, or ang resort sa gobyerno.
Section 8. Manufacture of dangerous drugs and control precursor and essential chemicals. Any person who engage manufacture of any dangerous drugs shall punish life imprisonment to death and a fine ranging from 500,000 pesos to 10 million pesos. Any person who controlled precursor and essential chemical shall punish imprisonment ranging from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years and a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos. Same penalty for protector or coddler. The maximum penalty under this section imposed upon the organizer, manager, and financer. There are 5 followings aggravating circumstances under this section. First, manufacture in the presence or with the assistance of a minor or kanang gapangaya sila tabang sa usa ka minor o buhat nilang usa ka minor para makabuhat og usa ka droga. Undertaken within 100 meters from residential, business, church, or school premises. Ang ginabuhat sila droga sulod or from school premises. Third, secured or protected by bobby traps. Kanang ginapalibutan ang isa ka laboratorio sa mga bomba or dili mabasta-basta masudlan sa mga law enforcement. Fourth, concealed with a legitimate business operation. Kanang pamaagi nila business ang usa ka pabaligya sa droga. Like example kanang gapaktori sila chocolate pero ang sulod ito dai kay ilang gibuhat kay droga. Fifth, employment of a practitioner, chemical engineer, public official, or foreigner. Kanang ga-involve ang usa ka chemical engineer para magbuhat og droga. Section 11. Possession of dangerous drug. Republic Act 9165, amended by 6425. According to this section, it lowers the number of grams from 200 to 10 in order to make the offense of possession non-violable with exception. For example, In the old law, 40 grams or more of opium. In the new law, 10 grams or more of opium. In the old law, 40 grams or more of morphine. In the new law, 10 grams or more of morphine. In the old law, 200 grams or more of shabu. In the new law, 50 grams or more of shabu. In the old law, 750 grams or more of marijuana. In the new law, 500 grams or more of marijuana. In all classified dangerous drug, according to this book, have the same penalty, life imprisonment to death, and a fine ranging from 500,000 pesos to 10 million pesos. Otherwise, if the quantity involved is less than the foregoing quantities, the penalties should be guaranteed as follows. First, life imprisonment and a fine ranging from 400,000 pesos if the shabu is 10 grams or more but less than 50 grams. Third, imprisonment of 20 years and 1 day to life imprisonment and a fine ranging from 400,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos if the quantities of dangerous drugs are 5 grams or more but less than 10 grams of opium, morphine, heroin, marijuana, resin or marijuana, resin oil, or shabu, or other dangerous drugs. Imprisonment of 12 years and 1 day to 20 years, and a fine ranging from 300,000 pesos to 400,000 pesos if the quantities of the dangerous drugs are less than 5 grams.
Section 12. Possession of equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia for dangerous drugs. According to this section, any person who possesses an equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia which is intended for the use of dangerous drugs and not duly authorized by law shall be punished with a penalty of 6 months and 1 day to 4 years imprisonment. So, according to this section, ang katong mga tao daw nga wala gitagaan og authority sa balaod nga mopossess og mga ekipo or mga gamit nga intended siya sa paggamit og illegal nga droga in a way of injecting or kanang i-inject sa lawas sa tao. Kumbaga, punishable siya under this section for an imprisonment of 6 months and 1 day to 4 years. And then, according to this section also, nag-ingon nga only those person nga gihatagan ng authority ang mopossess ana. For example is ang mga medical practitioner nga gagamit sila ng injection in a legal means. And then gigamit sa usa ka tao. Yang gigamit into illegal means. So nag-inject siya siyang lawas og cocaine and then ang nahitabo is nadakpan siya sa law enforcer. So katong mga items nga nakuha sa iya shall serve as the evidence or prima facie evidence nga mas makapadiin or makapabukat pa sa iyang kaso. Section 15. Use of dangerous drugs. According to this section, any person who was found positive of using dangerous drugs after the confirmatory test shall be punished with a penalty of 6 months rehabilitation for the first offense in the government facility. And then, in the second offense, the offender shall suffer the penalty of imprisonment from 6 years and 1 day to 12 years, and a fine ranging from 50,000 pesos to 200,000 pesos. So, in Section 15, nagingon nga, any person or kung kinsang ang mga tao ang madakpan or ma-apprehend sa law enforcer nga makita dito nga ni positive siya sa paggamit sa illegal nga droga after siya gikuhaan or after siya ni undergo sa drug test, nakita dito nga ni positive siya nga nagamit siya drugs, and then katong maong result mahimo to siyang evidence laban ditong offender. And then sa first offense kinahanglan ang katong offender is i-rehab siya within 6 months. And then kung makitaan siya nga medyo naay kabaguhan sa iya so there's a possibility nga i-turn over siya balik sa community. And then, in the second offense, kung makitaan pag yun, or madakpan gyapon siya otro sa mga law enforcer nga nagamit gyapon siya illegal nga droga, he shall suffer the penalty of imprisonment from 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. So, medyo taas-taas na and bugat na yun kayo kaysa itong first offense pa. And then, kung apriso mong galing siya, makabayad po yun siya o 50,000 to 200,000. So, mauna iyang fine in the second offense. And then, according to this section also, dili siya mahimong applicable kung ang katong mismong tao nga nagpositive sa drug test or confirmatory test, makuhaan siya og any amount or quantity of drugs. Makuhaan siya dito pila ka gram sa shabu, pila ka gram sa morphine, or pila ka gram sa opium. So, ano nga section is dili siya applicable kay cover na siya sa section 11 under this article 2 of the Republic Act 9165 as amended by Republic Act 6425. Section 16, cultivation or culture of plants classified as dangerous drugs or as sources thereof. According to this section, any person who cultivate or culture plants such as marijuana, opium, poppy, and more other plants classified as dangerous drugs shall be punished with a penalty of life imprisonment to death or a fine ranging from 500,000 pesos to 10 million pesos. So according to the section na ingon nga katong mga tao nga nagtanom or nag-umuma sa mga illegal nga droga shall be punished with a penalty of life imprisonment to death. And then ang iyang fine is medyo dako-dako po siya, 500,000 pesos to 10 million pesos. So kung nakakaya, so, pwede rin yung bayaran. And then according to the section also, nag-ingon nga only those medical laboratories and medical expert ang ginahatagan og authority sa board and then sa gobyerno nga mag-cultivate or mag-culture of plants such as marijuana, opium, and poppy for research purposes. Kumbaga, ilahang gina-studyhan para maka-create sila og mga bag-o nga medicine or tambal para pud nga magamit sa community or ginagamit nila in a legal means. And then, the land nga gigamit sa plantation sa illegal nga droga shall be confiscated or kuhaon to siya sa gobyerno. Pawiyon sa gobyerno unless if the owner can prove that he has a lack of knowledge regarding the plantation. And then, if the land is a part of a public domain, for example, kanang nag-assume kag yuta, kumbaga nagbayad pa ka, wala pa titulo sa imuha. So panag-iya-kuya po siya sa gobyerno. And then, kung makomply na ito ng mga requirements, so possible makuha niyo titulo, so mahimo na. Pero wala pa nimo na comply, wala pa nimo nakuha ang titulo, so panag-iya pa siya sa gobyerno, and then gitanuman nimo siya illegal drugs. For example, kanang common, marijuana, gitanuman nimo siya marijuana. So, pag nadakpan ka sa law enforcer, and then may balaan nga, dili pag ito imuha ang yuta, part pa siya sa public domain, so maximum penalty ang ipataw sa imuha.
Section 23, Plea Bargaining Provision. Any person charged under any provision of this act, regardless of the imposable penalty, like a violation of Section 5, nga life imprisonment to death, of Section 11, nga imprisonment of 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. Under the new law of this act of RA 9165, plea bargaining is allowed when an accused is charged with possession of shabu weighing 5 to 9.99 grams or the marijuana weighing 300 to 499 grams. However, provision of the accused will not be allowed in such instances. Also the shall not be allowed of the plea bargaining kanang naay mga previous conviction kanang na priso sa una mo dili maka-avail sa plea bargaining.
Mana?
Section 24. Non-applicability of the provision law for drug traffickers and pushers. Any person convicted for drug trafficking or pushing under this act, regardless of the penalty imposed by the court, cannot avail of the privilege granted by the provision law or presidential decree number 968 or the establishing of the provision system as amended. So, dili pwede maka-apply sa provision law ang mga drug traffickers and pushers nga mao sila ang agpamaligya or ang agbuhat aning mga illegal nga droga. So, dili sila tagaan. They cannot granted the privilege by the provision law of the presidential decree number 968. Section 25. Qualifying aggravating circumstances in the commission of a crime by an offender, the influence of dangerous drugs. So katuro kunong mga nakakommit sa crime like for example pagpatay or pagpangawat nga nagamit during ato nga krimen nagbuhat siya o nagamit siya sa illegal nga droga before siya ni commit anang nga krimen. So ang penalty nga i-provide ang penalty nga i-punish sa iya is under the revised penal code, which is there is a criminal liability and civil liability, and the penalty was increased.
3. Immunity from prosecution and punishment. Notwithstanding of this provision of Section 17, Rule 199 of the Revised Rule of Criminal Procedure and the provision of Republic Act 6981 or the Witness Protection and Security Benefit Act of 1991. So, unsa dining RA 6981? This act is to encourage people who witness the commission of the crime before the quasi-judicial body. So, this section 633 is para ni siya sa katong mga tao nga naka-violate under the section 7, 11, 12, 14, 15, and 19 who voluntarily testify and give information of whereabouts sa iyang mga kauban or sa katong mga tao nga naka-violate under the section 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, and 16. So, kay ni-witness man siya, tagaan siya og immunity from prosecution and punishment. In other words, dili siya pwede kasuhan or ma-exempted siya sa iyang kaso with the liable information na mahatag niya against sa katong mga tao nga naka-violate ani. So, there are 5 conditions provided. Number 1, the information and testimony should be necessary to convict the person. Katong mga person na appeal sa drug syndicates. Number 2, the testimony and information is wala pasukad sa record sa police. Number 3, the information and testimony should be authentic and linked to the found evidences. Number 4, the informant or witness is dapat wala pasukad ma-convict against crimes of moral turpitude or katong mga crimes against norms of the society. Unsa man nga mga norms of the society? Katong mga theft, fraud, o katong mga crimes na makawala sa pagsalig sa tao sa imo. Kung nakaanak nga mga crimes, dili ka pwede mo witness unless ug wala na lain nga direct evidences to link the person to the crime. Section 68, the privilege of suspended sentence to be availed only once by first-time drug offender. So, according to RA 1944, or the Juvenile Justice Welfare Act of 2006, in Section 7, determination of age, over 15 years old but below 18 has the privilege to suspend your sentence due to minority. So, kung nakasala ka, ana mga idara, or katong makabiolate ka sa Section 15, or the possession of dangerous drugs, kaya
Kay below 18 man ka, dili pa ka pwede makasuhan. Ang mahimo ana, ang katong gi-file na kaso sa imuha is mapinding until na mag-reach ka og legal age.
Section 77, the Dangerous Drug Board. It leads the campaign against drug abuse and illicit the trafficking in the Philippines. It was established in 1972 through Republic Act 64-25, and it composed of 7 national government agency. Ang mga member ani nga drug board nga kuan dangerous is matawag sila nga ex officio. Ang ex officio is naay tulo guys kuan members ang function, position of proper uses of ang kining dangerous drug board mao'y gahatag sa mga policy.
Section 82, the creation of Philippine Dangerous Drug Enforcement Agency, or the PDEA, is to carry out and serve as the implementation arm of the board and shall be responsible for the efficient and effective law enforcement. So, PDEA's responsibility is tagapagpatupad ng mga policies na ginahimo sa DDB or the Dangerous Drug Board. O gisa pa dani silang tig-confiscate, tig-seizure, o tig-investigate sa drugs nga ilang nakuha during the red and the buy-bust operation. And then, to controls and regulate the legitimate use of dangerous drugs and control precursor and essential chemicals. Like sa supervise the anti-drugs activities of the drug law enforcement agencies and coordinates the participation of stakeholders in the anti-drug campaign. So, PDEA, sila po ang spread po sila information about sa drugs for the people to be aware kung unsay mga makadaot ani. And then PDEA, one of the scheme of the PDEA to prevent drugs is gahatag silang pabuya for the people to be encouraged na mo report sa ilaha kung unsay mga basing na ay mga dangerous drugs, illegal activities sa ilang community. And then sa airport po napoy mga PDEA na mo examine sa mga passengers or katong mga tao nga magpasulod or pagawa sa airport to ensure na walay nag-possess, nag-travel o nagdala sa mga any of the dangerous drugs within sa atong country or pagawa sa atong country.
Section 84, powers and duties of PDEA. The PDEA will arrest and apprehend the violators. For example, sir, ang isang person gagamit o shabu, tapos nakita din sa police, ang responsible ato ang PDEA dahil mo take charge ato sa mga materials nga nakuha sa mga enforcer. Tas kung dili nila makaya, pwede nila i-turn over sa national government agency nga dito tanan makita ang mga material na gagamit sa maong nagamit sa droga. Section 90, jurisdiction. Ang Supreme Court mo ay mag-atag sa ubos-ubos niya nga trial, for example, ang Regional Trial Court. Then, preliminary investigation i-conduct sa public prosecutor. Within 30 days, gikan sa pag-file na terminate. Tapos, ang prosecutor, pag makakita siya o probable cause, within 24 hours, i-inform ang judge. Tapos, ang judge na yun, pag makakita siya o probable cause na tinuod na nakabuhat o krimen ang isang person within 48 hours, iyang ibalik sa prosecutor as a proper prosecutor ang case. Then, nagbalik sa proper prosecutor ang case, iyang i-record sa buhat ang prosecutor sa bagong kaso. Then, ang trial court human or dili pwede mo malapa sa 60 days. Then, pag makadesisyon na rin sila, within 15 days, ma-resolve na nila ang case or ang kaso.